By the end of the 2010s, Iran was a country defined by contradiction. It was deeply religious, yet increasingly secular in private life. It was regionally influential, yet economically constrained. It was politically structured, yet socially restless. A new generation had emerged. They had not lived through the revolution. They had no memory of the Iran-Iraq War. Their experience of the Islamic Republic was not one of revolutionary triumph, but of economic hardship and social restriction. For Ali Khamenei, now in his 80s, the greatest challenge was no longer foreign invasion or diplomatic isolation. It was generational change. The 2019 fuel protests. In November 2019, the government announced a sudden increase in fuel prices. The policy aimed to reduce subsidies and address fiscal strain. But the reaction was immediate. Protests erupted across dozens of cities, not only in Tehran but in provincial towns. Demonstrators voiced economic grievances. They criticized corruption, inflation, and inequality. Unlike earlier reform movements, these protests were less ideological, more material. They reflected frustration not with one election, but with living conditions. Security forces responded forcefully. Internet access was restricted temporarily. Demonstrations were suppressed within days. Yet the message was unmistakable. Economic resilience alone could not guarantee social calm. The digital landscape. By 2019, Iran was digitally connected. Despite filtering and regulation, social media platforms enabled rapid information flow. Videos of protests circulated instantly. Narratives spread beyond state media control. The leadership expanded cyber capabilities. Monitoring increased. Online activism was tracked. Digital platforms became contested terrain. For Khamenei, information control had always been important. In the digital age, it became exponentially complex, a tragedy that ignited a movement. In September 2022, the death of Mahsa Amini in custody triggered nationwide outrage. Accused of violating dress code regulations, her death resonated deeply. Protests spread quickly. The slogan "Woman, Life, Freedom" became emblematic. Demonstrations involved women, students, workers, across ethnic and regional lines. Unlike prior movements, this wave centered explicitly on social freedoms and personal autonomy. It challenged not just policy, but cultural enforcement. For the Islamic Republic, compulsory dress codes were symbolic of ideological continuity. For protesters, they symbolized constraint. The clash was profound. State response, security forces intervened. Arrests were made. Internet disruptions occurred intermittently. Judicial proceedings followed. Khamenei framed the unrest as influenced by external actors and hostile powers. He emphasized order and stability. Yet even as demonstrations subsided in intensity, the generational shift was visible. Young Iranians openly questioned norms that previous generations had accepted. Economic undercurrents, economic strain compounded social tension. Sanctions limited oil revenue and financial channels. Inflation eroded purchasing power. The currency fluctuated sharply. Youth unemployment remained persistent. For many young Iranians, opportunity appeared constrained. Migration aspirations increased. Khamenei continued emphasizing self-reliance and resistance economy. But economic pressure remained structural, regional pressure and security priorities. While internal unrest unfolded, regional dynamics remained volatile. Iran's influence in Syria and Iraq persisted. Tensions with Israel escalated periodically. Proxy confrontations continued. Khamenei maintained focus on deterrence. He viewed external threats as justification for internal cohesion. From his perspective, instability at home and confrontation abroad were interconnected. Weakness in one invited pressure in the other. The succession question. As Khamenei aged, speculation about succession increased. The assembly of experts retained formal authority to select a successor. But political realities were complex. Potential candidates were evaluated quietly. Public discussion was limited. The leadership avoided overt debate. Stability required continuity. Uncertainty required management. A system under strain but intact. By 2024 and 2025, protests had ebbed in intensity but not disappeared from memory. Economic hardship persisted. Regional confrontations continued. Yet the core structure of the Islamic Republic remained intact. Revolutionary Guard loyalty remained strong. Judicial authority remained centralized. The Guardian Council continued candidate vetting. Khamenei's leadership style had not shifted. He remained deliberate, reserved, institution-focused. Generational reality. Iran's population was young. Many citizens were born after 1990. They did not carry lived memory of monarchy or revolution. Their expectations were shaped by global connectivity. This generational reality posed a long-term question. Could a system forged in 1979 adapt to 21st century social dynamics? Khamenei's answer was cautious continuity, gradual adjustment within ideological bounds, but the tension between continuity and change remained unresolved. In his final years, Khamenei appeared less frequently in extended public settings. Speeches continued, emphasizing resilience and independence. The state maintained internal control, but the broader regional environment grew more volatile. Strategic calculations intensified. And then, in early 2026, his era ended. Closing monologue. Ali Khamenei began his journey as a cleric shaped by revolution and war. He governed through sanctions, reform movements, and geopolitical upheaval. In his final years, he faced something less predictable, a generation that did not share the revolutionary memory that shaped him. He responded as he always had, with institutional firmness and ideological clarity. Whether that approach preserved stability or postponed transformation remains debated. But one fact endures. For nearly 4 decades, the Islamic Republic did not move without his influence. And when he died, it was not merely the passing of a leader. It was the closing of an era.